Okay, so part 2 of Unit 12933 activity. Question 1, there's only one activity in the unit. And the activity is this. Question 1 is this. You have a concrete path that's 7.8 long by 850 wide by 100 mil deep. Now that's relating to the concrete. Okay, that 100 mil concrete is going to sit on 75 mils of hard fill. Hard fill again is a material used and compacted at the bottom of a concrete footpath or concrete slab, and it forms a basis or a foundation for the concrete. So it's really important to get this part right in placing it and compacting it. So if you look here, this is the total amount of hard fill that you will need, and this is the rounded up amount. So 0.049725, I've rounded up to 0.5, half a cube, right? So the way I got that is I just went 7.8 times 0.850 times 0.075. And that just means it's 75 millimeter. I've calculated that and I've rounded it up. Down here, I've calculated up the aggregate, which is 7.8 times 0.850 times 0.100. Now the aggregate is the stone that's used in the concrete. Now you would go to a builder's merchant and you would actually buy builder's mix, which is aggregate and sand already mixed up for you. So I calculated that and it came to 0.663. I rounded it up to 0.7. Now in your text, it says that aggregate is 80% of your total concrete. So you go 0.7 times 80% and you come out with this figure here, 0.56. Now in your workbook, it says that cement is 20% of concrete. So what I did was 0.7, which is that total amount of concrete, times 20% came out at 14. Now, 0.14, sorry. So 14 kilograms, that equates to 14 kilograms of cement, which is the dust that you use to make concrete. So I rounded it up, and you can either buy one 20 kilo bag or two 10 kilogram bags for this footpath. Okay, so let's go through that again. Hard fill, 7.8 times 0.850 times 0.75 equal that. I rounded up to 0.5. Aggregate, 7.8 times 0.850 times 0.100 came out to that. I rounded up to 0.7. Aggregate is 80% of your concrete. 0.7 times 80% equals 0.56. Cement is 20%. 0.7 times 20% equals 1.4 or 1.4. Right, so sorry, 0.14. So if you add the 0.14 and the 0.56 together, it actually comes out at 0.7. That equates to 14 kilograms, which is one 20 kilo bag of cement or 2 times 10 kilogram bags of cement. So that's what you're going to need to lay your concrete on your footpath. Now, just a tip with the hard fill. When you place in your hard fill, it's a good idea to wet it or to dampen it down, because what it does is it causes stones to rub against each other and it compacts a lot better. So your hard fill has to be compacted quite tight, because if it's loose, your concrete hasn't got a good foundation to lay on and it'll start to crack in your footpath. So there's your hard fill there, there's your concrete there. Now, another good idea is when you've got your boxing in place, you got your hard fill down, just make sure that you're not compacting too much against the boxing itself, otherwise you're going to put it out of line. And what you would normally do is you would either run a string line across here at different points, or a straight edge at different points, and you measure from the bottom of the straight edge to the top of the hard fill. And the reason you do that is you get an average of the thickness of your concrete. So you might put your straight edge across here and then measure this point, that point might be 110, that point might be 105, over here might be 100, over here it might be 105, 110, 100, 105, 110, 110. Then you work out the average, which is probably 105, and instead of making that 100, you would make that 105. Then you order that a little bit more, so you're not short, and you would even round that up as we rounded the 0.663 up to 0.7. If you've got a little bit of concrete left over, it's better to have a little bit of concrete left over than not have enough. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And then figure out your boxing, which is just your two sides and your two ends added together. Your pegs, they've got to be 500 centers, so every 500 you've got to have a peg. And I would allow just 2 nails per peg, so that's easy enough. Once you've got your pegs, then you just count up your nails and then you put that over there. Okay, thank you.